I just want to give a quick shout out to the helpers of the world, the people that are kind without expecting anything in return, being selfless. I've been listening to Brene Brown. My counselor at the VA suggested that I listen to read a couple of her books. Now I'm listening to her podcasts, and they're deep, but I'm growing and I love it. Back to the original thought though, I have, for lack of a better word, been able to manifest people that can help me when I need help. From if I'm stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire and I need someone to rescue me, somebody comes by. I've never been stranded. I'm not still stranded. So recently, a year ago on the 17th, I got stranded in Rawlins, Wyoming. My RV broke permanently, and the tow driver dropped me off at a place in Rawlins. And I was headed west. I was headed west. I met a guy there named Jeremy, and he was heading east, and he also broke down and was towed to Rawlins at the same place. The receptionist there, Lori, had suggested to me, because I was there for an indefinite amount of time, turned out to be about 2 weeks, that there's a free hot springs in Saratoga, Wyoming, that I should go check out about 40 minutes away. My truck still worked, so I was like, free? Yes, let's do. And as I was turning to, go and get my swimsuit and such, I ran into Jeremy, and I said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Do you want to come? And he just did a 360 and like, yeah, let me get my stuff. 180. Anyway, in the past year, we've maintained a platonic relationship, and it's been wonderful. Last fall, he came up to Yellowstone with me and the Ortega family, and we had a lovely time. It was wonderful. And then this last week, we were supposed to meet in Colorado, but his truck broke down, and he had to stay in Saratoga, and I had already bought glasses for the eclipse, and I'm like, well, 2 pair. And I said, I'll just come to you. I don't, there's no strings on me. I have no commitments other than to have a good time and see things I haven't seen and enjoy life and learn and grow. So I went to Saratoga. We watched the eclipse with a friend of his, and James enlightened me on a few things, and that was really, really cool, and things that I'm going to look into more. I'll share with that later when I do the investigating. But Jeremy had he had worked for a trailer like mine, only much longer, and when it has pullouts. I don't have pullouts. I did that once, learned my lesson, not a good idea for me. But when his slides are in, it was really challenging for him to go through the front door and get to the bathroom. And having had anal cancer and knowing how important it is to have access to a bathroom, I could commiserate with him. So he's worked in construction and mechanics and all kinds of different things. He's got lots of skill sets. So he just, took apart the bench that was in the way, modified it so he could come and go as necessary, and then he had all this leftover fabric from where he had cut the pillow down on the bench, and I'm like, well, I travel with my sewing machine, I can fix that for you. And so I got to do that for him, and I hemmed some pants and did some other little tiny minor sewing projects. But there was things that he needed done, and he appreciated the effort, I'm sure. But in return, and to exceed, if there's a balance, he did so much for my trailer. He installed an inverter so that I could have access to recharging my phone when I'm off grid, and even have some power if necessary. He added the second solar panel to my roof from the first RV. He taught me how to patch a tire and gave me a kit to do so on my own if ever I needed to. I watched him take out the nail and put in the plug, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Why don't I know that? And now I do. He's just a very gentle teacher, and showed me a lot of really, resourceful things that I needed done. And then just some little tiny things that needed to be done around my RV. I refer to it as my honey-do list, even though, he's just a really good friend. So yesterday, he headed south, and I'm heading west again. I have to go back to Mom in Nampa, and I'm in Twin Falls now, so I'm almost there. I just am so grateful for people like Jeremy, for people like Randy Ortega. Years ago, when I totaled my car on my 50th birthday, and my now ex-husband wouldn't let me drive his truck, I had to sell my entire goat herd to buy a new vehicle. And that was really hard because I had goats. I had, $2,000 worth of goats. And Randy generously and without even thinking hesitation, it didn't seem, donated 3 new goats to me so that I could rebuild my herd, which I did. And I've been so blessed to have such amazing people in my world, and I just really want to tell you all thank you. I have a friend in Washington. Her name is Cindy, and she and I talk a couple times a week on the phone at ODark30, and just her letting me vent about things that I can't vent to anybody else about, getting her perspective on things, listening to her vent, and repaying that kindness. She said frequently that she followed me on my cancer journey, and she's proud of my military service, and she's just really very proud of me. And to have a non-family member express that is really beautiful, and so I thank her for that. And those are just a few very small examples. My friend Jen, I needed a place to park my RV for 5 months, and she let me live in her garden. I'm like, thanks, Jen. That wasn't, they didn't get anything out of it except me being there from time to time. And I think my lesson that I'm trying to impart is that there are beautiful people out there who are willing to help you, to be there for you, if you open up and let them. I had to be vulnerable for Cindy to say, oh wow, that cancer journey sucked, but I was with you the whole time, and I'm so glad you're still alive. And if I hadn't broken down and reached out to a total stranger saying, hey, I'm going to go to a free hot tub, do you want to come with, or hot pool, and we're friends, and and Randy, she was a phlebotomist. I met her at the VA, and our sons were the same age, and they went to public school together, and then she convinced me to put my son into a charter school with her son, and my son graduated. And all these, it's just remarkable how wonderful people can be if you give them a chance, and if you're kind in return. I'm sure if I demanded, or if I insisted, or if I believed that I was entitled, those things wouldn't come to me. I wouldn't have those friends. I wouldn't have those connections. I think I've told you before, I picked up some hitchhikers a while back, and which I don't very often do, but it was really cold in the middle of winter, and they needed a ride, and they believe the earth is flat, and that was new to me. So I learned from them, and they had nothing to offer me except conversation and kindness, and I got the same from them. I gave them conversation and kindness and a lift. It was no big deal. I was heading that way anyway. So I think, again, what I'm trying to impart is that if you are kind, if you present yourself to the world and just see what happens and let it happen, be present in the moment. There's something that needs to be done, do it. If there's a hill to climb, find someone to climb it with, or find someone that needs accompaniment, someone that you can help, or they can help you in return. It's not a it's not a take, it's a give and take. And I kind of wish I knew all this stuff 30 years ago. My life would have turned out a little bit different. I might not have 3 ex-husbands, maybe, but I am where I am now because of my past, good, bad, or indifferent, and I need to continue growing. I don't think I'm done with this journey yet. I think there's a lot more for me to learn, and I'm really grateful for the people that have come along with me on the journey, and now I'm gonna cry. So have a wonderful day, and thank you for listening to me ramble.